Vanakkam, Vandanam, hello and hi everyone. This is the Rice Show. Today's show is sponsored by Superboost, an active wellness ingredient which you can purchase on TikTok. Okay, now today is a very special day because I have a very special person on my very first show today here. It's Auntie Atme. I hope you're okay me addressing you, Auntie Atme.
Of course.
Okay. She is someone who's known to me for some time now, and I know her only because of her goodness. Every time I see her, I learn something from her. I always put in at the back of my mind, if I was to have a mentor, this is the qualities a mentor should have. So these are some really nice things about her that I would like to emulate. But a little bit about her. All right, she's a community builder, a youth mentor, a volunteer leader, advocates for values and character development. She's a long-time facilitator of youth and family programs and creator of spaces for reflection, prayer and growth. Welcome to the show, Auntie. How are you feeling?
Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to this. This is such an honor and pleasure to be here, really.
Oh, lovely. And thank you so much. It means a lot that you're here. So let's just dive directly into our first part where we talk about your roots. So tell us a little bit about you. Where did your childhood start?
Sure. You know, my father was with the railways and I grew up in Ipoh.
Okay.
So all my neighbors, except for maybe one or two, were Indians.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
And it was the best thing because honestly, that was I would hang around with them, we would play with them, you know, we would go into each other's homes.
Wow.
It was the most natural, most unifying Malaysian thing, I think,
Yes.
that one could be, you know, experiencing from the very earliest days. And I remember when on Wednesday night at 10 o'clock,
Okay.
I was really young, every Wednesday night, 10 o'clock, my parents will switch, because we are about the only family with a TV in the house.
Okay.
So we would switch on,
Okay.
and on Wednesday 10 o'clock, they would show Tamil movies.
Oh.
So we'll open up our doors, and the whole neighborhood
basically.
in the Malayan Railways would all come to our house, and they'll all be in our hall, you know. And I remember we were all in the bedroom because it's quite late, right? We have to go to school the following day. But they're all filled up in our house.
Wow.
And that was my earliest memories of my...
Lovely.
Yeah, in my neighborhood.
That itself, I think, like sparks a conversation about how I think your parents were very compassionate people. They were willing to open up their homes, and similar to what you do, later we'll talk about that, to bring people together, to unite them. I think, so do you think the work that you do today, the path chose you or you chose the path?
You know, I think it's a bit of both. In that because of that early memory, my earliest memory was our house being open for our community. And I think ever since that, it became such a natural thing for me to do, you know.
Oh.
But what solidified it, I feel, was when I went to my Form 6 in St. Michael's, Ipoh.
Okay.
And there was a school principal, headmaster, Brother Paul. And he ran the school with such compassion, to use the word that you use.
Yeah.
And that every recess, every time during recess, because I was part of the Interact group, we will make milk powdered drinks for all the poor children in the school.
Whoa. Okay.
So every day during recess, we will actually go to a particular area, we'll make milk. And then there'll be long queues of little boys, because this is a boys' school, right? All queuing up to wait to drink.
Milk.
And to me, to be honest, while that was just something I did, but I think it solidified the concept of really being part of a community together. And so I think service was introduced to me in a very structured manner at that point.
So all of these are like lessons from your adulthood that you know really brought you to become this person who's service oriented, would you say?
I would definitely say that they sort of form the building blocks of who I am today. Yeah.
So we'll talk about something that we are right now connected through. You know, my son Ashikar goes for this Sunday youth program, right? So let's start from there, and then we'll dial back a little bit later.
And I have to say, your son is a brilliant young man. If you have not met the young man, you ought to. So why do we do that? So
Yeah.
every Sunday we have about maybe 15 kids,
Okay.
ranging from 8 years old to 17 years old.
Okay.
And they come to our house every Sunday with 3 groups of classes going on, where we really talk about moral and empowerment. Moral and spiritual empowerment. Now, why do we do this? We do this because if you look at the world today, it's really such a complex world, and that even adults like us are so we are tossed and turned, just looking at all the many negative things happening, right? And then trying to make sense of what's happening is so complex, so difficult. Imagine what our young people are going through. You know, especially the children age from 8 to about maybe teenage of about 15 years old and up to about 17 years old. They are seeing all they're saying because they're also on the social media. They are seeing all this, but they probably can't make sense of what's happening.
Correct.
If adults can't make sense, how can they possibly make sense? So our idea is that they come together, we learn about all the spiritual qualities, spiritual values, and really about giving them hope.
Having hope.
It's about giving them hope. So I have 2 NGOs, as you know. One is called Have Hope.
Okay.
The other is called Be Hope. So, hope is all about giving the kids understanding what is the possible vision that they should be working towards, which is a community that care for each other, work towards prosperity for everyone, not just for small groups.
Yes.
And then showing them that if we are all empowered, we have the ability, the agency to do it. Showing them what are the pathways to do it. We give them education, explaining to them all the various concepts around the world and how they should choose to do the right thing, and on the right things are the pathways for you to achieve those visions. And then how we should have trust. We should have trust in the system that there are good people around.
Absolutely.
Yes, generally they are very complicated, but there are good people around that they can rely on and trust and work together towards this journey. That's why we always talk about hope in our classes.
So Have Hope is something that you really advocate for, and I'm sure the kids also teach us a lot of things. They come with their own wealth of experiences which are very new and fresh, and they give us a fresh perspective. So are there any stories in which that you can share that these kids have brought to you and made you reflect a bit, like, wow, okay, this is what's happening? And
so one of the things at the end of our 2-hour session, we always ask the kids to show us or share with us what they learned. I particularly remember these 2 8-year-olds.
Okay.
So what they did was one child had a piece of paper just like that, A4 paper, and she put between two tables. She put a paper there, and then there's another paper.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, they each have a paper each. So this child A, tells child B, "Oh, you're such a helpful person." So the paper is flat. Then this child tells this child, "Oh, I don't like the way you look today. Your hair is not nice." Now this child, because she's hurt, she folds the paper one time, and then she tells this other child, they are just playing. She compliments and an encouraging tone. Whereas this child will always say a negative, disempowering tone. So by the end of it, so this child, whenever she receives a disempowering message, she folds the paper.
Okay.
And then this one, because she has been receiving good messages,
it
she knows
remains flat.
flat. And then at the end of it, so this child put her folded paper in between 2 tables, all right, and then she put a handphone on it. It remained solid, and he held up a handphone. The other child took a piece of paper and left it and put it in the same spot with a gap. The handphone fell through.
Okay.
So then we said, okay, what's your message here? He said, look, when we go through struggles in life, they actually strengthen us.
Wow.
We were blown away. We were blown away by the 2 young kids.
That was a really nice way to put it, isn't it? And from an 8-year-old,
God! I don't know how they did it, but they managed.
They must have really had a lot of,
thought and reflection around it, right? We were really, the teachers were blown away.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay, there's something else that you do that I enjoy. I have attended so many times from India at wee hours in the morning, 5:30 I think I used to wake up. It's the Virtues program. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So since 1996, I've been trained to be a master facilitator for
Okay.
this service project. Virtues project.
Virtues project.
Now, what Virtues project is about? It's about you know, it's actually about a program to bring out the best in us. Okay.
Naming the virtue, basically.
Naming the virtue. So there are 5 strategies to
Okay.
this Virtues project. The first strategy is about the language of virtues.
Okay.
Now, what does that mean? It means that whenever we see someone doing a right thing,
Yeah.
we call out the virtue that you see. In other words, if a young child gives me a cup of water, I will not just say thank you, but instead I'll say, that was really helpful of you.
Yeah.
The whole idea being, when I call out the virtue, the child recognizes that that's called hurtful, and then realize that, oh, I have
The virtue.
that virtue in me. I'm capable of doing it. So that I encourage the child to continue to do this. Also, within this concept of language of virtues, is also the fact that if you see a child that's not doing maybe such a correct thing, we will then ask them to practice the virtue. So if let's say this child is very maybe really in a hurry to get something, then rather than saying stop it or don't be so impatient, I will say, do you think you could practice patience for 2 minutes? Because when I ask them to practice patience for 2 minutes, first I give them such a low bar that I know they can do it. And then when they can do it, then they realize that, oh my gosh, I have it within me.
Yes.
But if I tell them, don't be impatient, just wait for your turn, all they hear is impatience.
Impatient.
They do not know
That's
that they have the
ingrained into
virtue of
them.
patience within them. So that's first strategy. The second strategy is about recognizing teachable moments.
Teachable moments, yeah.
Yeah. So what it means is, when we see something that's happening,
Okay.
then maybe that is an opportunity for us to learn from it. So, and that applies even for myself. So if I did something not so correct, then I say, okay, that was a teachable moment for me, because it's a very positive way of looking at it, rather than punishing ourselves and say, why did I do that? It's just
Correct.
it's a teachable moment. But so far as children are concerned, particularly, we will say, you know what, that is an opportunity. Maybe we can improve their
Learn.
behavior and learn from it. And so I have to think about how to do that in the right way. But I must recognize those moments,
Okay.
so that I can
Rectify.
or have those intervention steps at the right time. The third is about setting clear boundaries.
Setting clear boundaries.
Yeah,
It's
so
very
many.
important.
Yeah, very important. Oftentimes, when we talk about virtues, people think that, oh, you use the language of virtues, then people walk all over you. We said no. One of the strategies is setting very clear boundaries. So clear boundaries means there are certain clear things that nobody can violate. Whether for ourselves or us with our children, us with our spouse with us. There's certain clear boundaries, and that is to help us, and so that that is to help us realize that there are certain things, our principles and our values, we must not cross over.
Yeah. So set really strong
Very
boundaries.
clear
boundaries.
Yeah. And then the fourth strategy is about honoring the spirit.
Okay.
How do we do all this in a way that's continually uplifted and positive? Because you can easily be drawn and be
Like wither away like that, like just lost in that
just
entire
lost in the
space.
whole-
Yeah.
Yeah, because of so much pressures
So
in
much,
life,
yeah,
right?
correct.
So how do we restore it? So there are-
Soul level.
Yeah, at the soul level. So we there are many ways we do that. So that's the fourth strategy. The fifth strategy is companioning, and that's one of my super favorite one also, because that is the one where we learn how to sit and listen to others, especially when they're going through issues. So it's through companioning that that we help the friend maybe go through a challenge that they are facing then, and then they dig deep within themselves to find the answers.
Yeah.
So my role when I do the companioning is not to give answers,
Yeah.
because I will never know
What the other
all
person-
that the person knows.
Going through.
So my role is to ask the right questions so that they have the right reflections and arrive at the right solution.
So I think I want to take a moment here to say that you were very kind, Auntie. I think when I was going through a personal challenge in my life, I was lost. I was completely, I don't know where I was. And I think you told me, you and Uncle Venu, in fact, both of you took me for a nice makan-makan.
Yeah.
And allowed me to vent absolutely with no context. I was just going round and round in circles, and I was hearing myself like, what am I doing? And I don't know the patience the both of you had and allowed me to just, and I think that today where I'm standing is a testament to your companioning. Thank you very much. I'm extremely grateful. And I think I've learned that, I have to give back that way as well. So I think one way we pass the torch from one to another. So extremely grateful. All right. So, okay, now let's talk a little bit about happiness, shall we? So I am the happy doctor. This is terminology that was probably created to define happiness in my own way. All right. So what is happiness to you?
Such an interesting question, isn't it? There's so many ways of thinking about it, and I think it's unique for each person because what's important to each of us, it's different, right?
Very, very different.
Yeah. So, and it's not, most of us think about it being tied up to prosperity, to money, but it's far from it. So, one of the things I like to think about that a person will feel very fulfilled and therefore happy is the concept of ikigai. Are you familiar with
Ikigai, yes. Do what you're good at, what the world needs, what you can get paid for. Yeah?
Yeah. So I use the concept of ikigai a lot.
Ikigai.
Whether it's at work
Okay.
or whether it is in other spaces.
Okay.
Ikigai is a very important thing because here it talks about for us to be fulfilled, we need to be passionate about something.
Passionate,
right?
correct.
So when I'm passionate about something, which means it's something I love, then the world needs it, so I can churn it out through service to the world needing it. And then the world needs it so much that they are willing to pay for it.
Correct.
So which means I'm also fulfilled on my
Yes,
side.
yes, I'm
It's
not burnt
just-
out doing
I'm
it.
not burnt out doing
Yeah.
it. And then I'm good at it.
Yes.
Okay. So when all this comes together,
Intersect.
when they all intersect, right in the middle is ikigai, and I think that's when I feel very happy.
Okay, okay.
And if I want to apply this in the context of the family, it's the same thing. What I'm good at, with the family, how I'm interacting with my family, how they also reciprocate. I think that's how it is. So happiness is, I think, when I feel very fulfilled, when I see people around me also feeling very fulfilled.
Yeah.
And materially, of course, it's important,
Yes.
but it's not the only criteria. It's and I see everyone, like I said, fulfilled.
That's very nice. So I'm guessing that happiness at 20 and today is very different.
Oh yeah.
Very, very different, right? Even for me, let's not even talk about everybody else. Happiness to me, few years ago and now, it's very different. And
Yeah. Now I have to say, I just have a grandchild 4 days ago.
Oh, wow,
This
congratulations.
is my pure happiness right now.
absolutely.
Pure joy.
Bliss,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sure there are some misconceptions about happiness as well, right? So would you probably take us through a journey of, how people identify this could be happiness, but actually it isn't really.
Yeah. What is one of the most common, I think, misconception is money equals success equals happiness.
Okay.
You know.
Say that again.
Money
Okay.
equals if you have loads of money, if your job gives you a lot of money, that brings you a lot of success, and because of that, therefore you're happy. But this is only one dimension, one dimension of it. I think money. Of course, we need money. There's no question. Everything on this earth, it's it's leverage, it's premise on money, right?
Correct.
But do you need loads of money? I think that's the question, right? I think we need to ask ourselves between our needs and our wants.
Yeah.
Needs means it's basic essentials, right?
Correct.
Wants means, Mahatma Gandhi says, right? I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
The earth is enough for all our needs.
Correct. But
definitely not all our wants.
Yeah.
So, but yet people are pursuing money as if there's no tomorrow. That's the only thing that matters to them. I think, and because of that, I think the consequences, misguided or misplaced pursuits, of maybe either jobs or pathways that they really shouldn't go.
True.
In fact, even marriage, how it goes into marriages that way,
So,
relationships, parental, you read all the amazing stories. When did I read it? I think it was today that I read how one huge, very famous family in this country, how the mother have just disinherited the daughters because the mother has many billions inherited from the father, but because the children were really misbehaving, she disinherited them that
Tak ada
way.
duit.
Tak ada duit. But it's all about money,
Yeah,
and
so
so
that's
it
definitely-
breaks. Money can break relationship that way.
Yeah, so that's absolutely one misconception. So let's talk about burnout a bit. Okay, so a lot of people, I think, in the pursuit of looking for money, I think they get burnt out, sometimes doing things that they really don't intend to do but have to do. So what are your takes on burnout, and how do you think people can slowly come from just run, go to living more intentionally?
Yeah. I think now more than ever, we hear the word anxiety, anxious. We hear about, what do you call that, mental health issues all
Yes.
the time. And then burnout. I think it's this related to what we are talking about, this pursuit that we think that money solves all problems, and so that's what they go for, right? So how can we sort of break that circuit? One of the things I feel is extremely important is every morning and every night we ought to either meditate or pray, whatever that works for you,
Correct.
Because
Gratitude.
practice of gratitude, because it is so easy to be running on the treadmill. We need to take that pause.
Correct.
And the pause is the morning. Let's start with the night. The night we take the pause because there's so many things that happen during the day. We need to ask ourselves, okay, maybe do a quick recollection of what we have done today, and ask ourselves, what can I do better tomorrow? And that is not set in the intention of punishing ourselves, but with the intention of, so that tomorrow I don't repeat what I've done today.
Correct. I
Okay?
learn.
Yeah, I
and
learn.
restructure my actions.
Yeah, so that very intentionally you plan what you're going to do the next day, or how even you need to apologize to something that you have done wrongly, or make good of something that you have not done right, So that should be all done in the evening, in
Okay.
a quiet time in the evening.
So
Maybe
before
write
you
it down.
Yeah, before you go a little bit deep into it, forgiveness is one thing. Giving other people forgiveness is one thing. But I think going and seeking apology is something else altogether, isn't it? So how do people gather the courage to say, you know what, I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Forgiveness is one thing that I've kind of mastered. Okay, I was just telling the other day that I've mastered it. But apology is, I think, something how do we gain that
I
courage?
think it has to do a mindset.
Okay.
It has to do a mindset. You see, it all really starts from, are we really, how's our relationship with that person that we have done wrong? Have I also, like this practice of virtues, we have to reflect and ask ourselves, have I really done wrong? And it's we have to remove the ego and all that and ask ourselves, truly, have we done wrong? We have to be honest with ourselves.
Yeah, honesty starts from there.
If you're not honest with yourself and say, no, it's okay, I think it's okay, you can't go and apologize until you acknowledge that you yourself,
Name that, whatever
Yeah.
you're feeling.
that you're feeling, and then maybe, you know what, I've done wrong. And you know what? Being peaceful with that person is more important to me than
Being correct or even
being correct. Yeah. So I think things like that. So it's a worldview.
Yeah.
What is it that it's important to me.
Step away from the
Yeah.
situation.
So you step away and look at it and say, what is important to me? Is it about being right, or is it about maybe making peace with that person?
Oh, that's a golden nugget, really,
Yeah.
I think for me. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. All right. So, lots of things you spoke about gratitude, you spoke about meditating. Now let's talk about prayer. You speak a lot on the power of prayer, right? So why is prayer important, and why should someone pray?
Okay. You know, first of all, I think that I believe that we came to this earth because there's a creator.
Creator.
Okay.
Agree.
Of course, there will be some who says, no, random signs, we're just here because it's just, but if we believe that there's a creator, and I do believe that there's a creator, then imagine everything on this world came from God. Everything on this world, in this world, came from our creator. So first of all, I should be so grateful, right? I mean, to be honest, that I'm born in Malaysia, not born in Syria,
Yeah.
I should be so grateful already.
Absolutely.
That I am born with my full faculties of everything.
Everything.
I should be so grateful.
Yeah.
The fact that I have the opportunity to go to school, I should be so grateful. So there's so many things I'm so grateful for, right? So that's number one. The other is, if I'm so grateful, shouldn't I therefore have a conversation with my creator that have been so kind to me? I mean, think about it at a human plane. My parents gave birth to me, and I talk to my parents all the time, right?
Okay.
Because they gave birth to me, I should maintain the relationship. So in the same way, this is even at the higher level of divine. If God made me, surely I need to have a relationship with God. And what is prayer? Prayer is a conversation with God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by doing that continuously, what happens to one's psyche?
when we continue to have this conversation with God, I think many magical things happen.
Okay,
First
magic. I like that word, magic.
Yeah, magical things happen. One, we become hopeful because when you speak to our Creator and you pray to our Creator, there's a particular word that said, "I place all my affairs in your hand." In a sense, it gives me hope because I'm already leaving it with you, God.
Correct.
All right, that's number one. Number two, because I can trust and rely on God in my Creator, then I become stronger as a person with my next steps.
Correct.
So it gives me more certitude to actually take my next step. So I really think that
it's a personal journey.
It's a personal journey, but I tell you, I'm a really rational person and I love maths and all that. The most rational thing any person should do is to believe in God, because it's such a positive thing.
Yes.
Because the opposite of it is a negative, it's a zero.
Correct.
And what's the point of having a zero when you can have a positive?
Yeah, 1 and probably even 100, right?
Yeah.
So that's very beautifully put. Thank you very much. So the other thing that you do fascinates me is this Friday gatherings that you do. You host in your house. I think you did many chapters, right? Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So again, it's along the lines of what I've been talking about, which is, trying to make sense of what's happening in the world, right? That's number one. But two, more importantly, is we want the conversation to be uplifting.
Okay.
Because generally, if you just switch on the social media, you look at any, newspapers or turn on the CNN and all the news, it's almost always negative.
Absolutely.
So we wanted to create a space where it's uplifting conversations. So initially we had it as a physical in-person space.
Diverse topics.
Diverse topics. But everything, the common thread, positive, uplifting, and it's a learning. Learn together. So we have many conversations that way, whether it's from the biodiversity space.
Bujang Valley was something
Bujang Valley. Or even from the astronomy space.
Correct.
So we brought in many speakers week after week, every Friday. And then of course when COVID happened, it needed to go online.
It happened as well.
Yeah.
Very punctually.
It was a struggle to maintain the stream of speakers, but it was initially we got all the COVID specialists coming in, COVID related specialists. So it was the ER doctors,
Yeah.
the microbiologists who's working in the space, all that. We got various speakers, and then of course, when things became normal, then we went back to other topics. So it was to create a space for people to have uplifting conversations
Yeah, that was
and to
nice.
learn.
Not only that, I think people became friends there.
Yeah, sense of
you know.
community.
Yeah,
provide-
makan together.
Yeah, we
and
provided a
you-
sense of community. I think.
Really, it was a very nice space to.
Yeah.
If someone didn't know what to do on a Friday night,
Yeah.
they would go to your house
Yeah.
and learn
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and you were so kind and generous to open that up, right?
Don't forget, remember my parents' Wednesday night, 10 o'clock? Everyone would
Yeah,
come.
yeah, the TV.
Yeah, so it's a
continuation, lah, basically, right? Absolutely beautiful. So, when we're talking about this, let's talk about the fun part. There was one part of your life you were actually hosting like a book club. Like a book club, it was a drama club, right?
Yeah.
So what was that all
Yeah,
about? What was the
yeah.
intention behind it?
Yeah. So I love books, right?
Okay.
And I really love book reviews.
Okay.
When people all get together and we talk about, this particular book that we have read, and then we talk about the various characters and how the plot twists. And then I realized that there are less people reading, but K-drama was major,
Booming
was
lah.
on the rise.
Yeah.
Then I thought, why don't we have a K-drama review?
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
same
yeah.
way. So because the K-dramas were coming in episode after episode, so it was very easy. So then I invited the same group that were coming on the Friday to come and join us and talk about, again, all the uplifting themes that they noticed in
Oh,
the
lovely.
K-drama. So it was really nice. They were talking about the courage, they were talking about the love, the compassion, and how it was also very fun, how the writer or the director was really, how they wrote it in such a way
it was
to
a fun way to put
to
it.
create that virtue and manifest that virtue to the public. So we
That's
spoke about
something I learned from you. You can use anything as a tool
Yeah.
to start conversations that matter.
Yeah.
Because having conversations, and I think this kind of conversations are not the easy ones. It's intentional and also sometimes difficult,
Yeah.
and not really a lot of people have the energy to do it.
Yeah.
So to cut away from the hustle and bustle of your daily life and sit and talk about things that matter, I think requires different kind of tenacity and
Can I maybe branch off to another one? So, I sit on the board, right?
Okay.
It's a huge, I won't mention the name, a
Okay.
huge financial institution.
Okay.
And recently, someone asked me, or my fellow board member asked me, why is it that you speak differently from the rest of us?
Why?
And I said, she said, whenever I take notes, it's actually not so much what they're talking about, the transactions, but it's the way you speak, because I want to learn how you speak.
Correct.
And so I said, so I had a coffee with her and I explained that it has to do with the fact that it was the language of virtues, so I've been very fortunate to be exposed to that. But more than that, it's about seeing everything half full,
Heartful, huh?
half full,
Oh, half full.
half full and not half empty.
Oh, okay.
So also recognizing that someone who's speaking across the table, that it's often easy to just put down an idea, and because I have a different view, but how do I convey that I'm grateful for his courage, maybe, but encourage him to continue to explore his journey. So this is something that I've been learning and thinking about a lot throughout my past 30 years
Okay.
or 30, 40 years. But how do we always encourage and empower friends in conversations even?
It's very beautiful.
Yeah, it's because it's so easy to put people down, right?
Yeah.
But how do you make the person
Uplifted every
uplifted?
time they
So
come
the
to you.
That's right. The
Touch.
point is, how do you make someone feel better when they leave you, rather better than when they came and met you?
And I think you always do that. And somehow magically it's like zoom, gonna charge like that, zoom, So thank you very much
You're
for
most
being there. Thank you for
welcome.
sharing that.
Yeah.
So okay, let's we're almost towards the end already, So let's talk about philosophy a little, maybe, So what do you think everyone is looking for? Is it happiness? Is it fame? Is it joy, or what do you think they're looking for? Is it to give back?
I think I'm going to sort of inverse your question a little bit, if it's okay.
Yes.
I think everyone is very scared.
Scared, huh? Why do you say so?
I think everyone is feeling very insecure. Because if you think about it, even the most wealthiest or maybe mean person in the world, if you uncover it, it's like onion, if you just unpeel why do you do this? At the bottom of the why, or the heart of the why, is they're actually scared to be maybe vulnerable.
Scared to be vulnerable. Okay.
Yeah, because they can, if we are vulnerable, so let me connect the dots back to your question. So I'm vulnerable, right? So because all of us, I'm vulnerable because maybe I'm scared that others will look at me, maybe will not will compete with me, will take my riches, you know. So I feel very insecure. So I then cover myself with all sorts of wealth persona, or harden myself to
Mask.
a point. Mask, but make sure I get lots of money so that I'm protected. And then you keep layering. So it's all about, so whoever is pursuing, like for instance, wealth, a lot of people are pursuing wealth, right? And fame and all that. But I feel that all this is a reflection of what maybe they're missing inside.
Yeah. So usually they're pursuing what they really
deeply
desire.
The unmet need.
Unmet need. Wow, that's very
unmet
nice.
Need. So if you look at on the other side, like let's say Mother Teresa, right? She is so confident of herself. She doesn't need anything
Just love.
to prove herself. She doesn't need the money. She doesn't need the titles. She doesn't need anything at all, because her needs are all met within. So many of us have unmet needs. If you want to work with a person and try to understand maybe a person who's very difficult, look at his unmet need.
Okay, so everyone has different needs and unmet needs. Unmet needs, and I think, and you think that is what they are striving for.
Yeah.
That is what they're striving for. That's a very beautiful way of putting it. All right, lovely. Okay, so since we are almost going to finish, we go for a quick rapid fire questions. Rapid fire, top. Okay. All right. One word that describes your life today.
Fulfilled.
Fulfill. Okay, nice. A book that you think everyone should read. You have many, isn't it?
So many.
Okay,
So
one.
many. Okay, because I just pulled out the book today for my for someone. Not necessarily the only book, but the book that I pulled up today was Don't Sweat the Small Stuff.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Okay, nice one. A daily habit you never miss.
I'm glad you asked this question. Every day, make sure you assess whatever gives you joy.
Oh, okay, lovely. So
Whatever that gives you joy,
okay,
make sure you assess that.
Okay. One virtue you think the world needs more of.
Kindness.
Oh, lovely. A person who inspired you.
Yes. There's this particular lady. It has been a bit long. Do you have time for it?
Yeah.
This lady, she's a refugee,
Okay.
and she landed up in Malaysia, and she has no way. She doesn't know where she's going to go next.
Okay.
Her whole family had to run from the country, but she is the most glamorous. I say glamorous, I don't mean clothes.
Okay.
She has the most joyous, radiant personality.
Oh.
She is always, when we speak to her, you think that she's like some socialite with no cares in the world, but she doesn't even know where her country will be, you know, and where her family will have to go to. And I asked her, what is it that what inspires you? What is it that you're doing? She says, everything that's given to me is a gift. I look at everything as a gift. If it's a challenging one, then it must be a gift to help me improve. If it's a positive one, then I take it and embrace it. So she is my hero.
Lovely. That's beautiful. What are you grateful for now?
I'm so grateful for so many things. I can't even begin to list them, but most of all, right now, is my little granddaughter.
Oh, isn't that
Inaya-
lovely?
Inaya
Okay.
Lin. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So I think you've finally come to the end of the show, and it has been lovely, to sit across you, to learn from you, to listen to your words in the most kindest, sweetest voice, and basically grow as a person. It's always been enriching, uplifting, and empowering. Thank you for the work that you do in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining the Rise Show. Before we end today, please like, share, and subscribe to the Rise Show, because we are bringing in many more guests, and we hope to listen to all your comments. If you have any questions, put them down, and we would love to engage with you. With that, we'll close today's episode and saying thank you very much to everybody.
Thank
Nandri,
you.
Vanakkam.
Thank you.